Dies heißt das neue Beartooth-Album und ist gerade frisch im Handel erschienen. Passend dazu haben wir ein Interview mit Sänger und Mastermind Caleb Shomo für euch, denn mit ihm haben wir über seine Inspiration für das neue Album, den wachsenden Erfolg seiner Band und einiges mehr gesprochen.
Herzlich willkommen bei MoreCoreTV. Wir sind hier in Oberhausen bei den beiden exklusiven Beartooth-Shows mit Caleb.
Hey, hey.
Caleb, how are you?
I'm great, dude. Doing very good. Excited to be in Germany.
Yeah, awesome. Just two shows you're playing, only in Oberhausen.
Yeah.
And they're sold out so quick.
Yeah, they sold out both in under a day.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't, because there's festivals and things going on. We're like, probably more people are just going to festivals, so we put it in a smaller venue and put it up online, and it sold out like that. And then put up another one, and it sold out like that. And then there was no other venue to move to, so we were like, okay, I guess we're doing these. But we're excited, excuse me, very excited about it.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's going pretty well for you.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, specifically Germany, like, we just love it here. And I know, like, statistically, this is one of our, like, behind America, I think Germany is our biggest fan base, which is really exciting.
Is there a moment you would say when there was is there something like a moment where you would say, okay, it rises so fast, or is there something like a peak moment, or a specific moment you would say, okay, from this point it's going so fast?
Yeah, our first show in London was in like a 90 capacity room or something. And I don't even think we filled it. It was like a really small show. Yeah. And then next time we came back, it was like this sold out. It was one of the craziest shows we'd ever played. It was in like a 400 cap. And then after that, it's just been going and going and going. And I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around, but it's fun. Okay. I like it.
So for my example, you toured a lot of shows as well as a support act for some bands, and my feeling was that the Bring Me the Horizon tour did a lot of popularity to Beartooth.
Yeah, that, I mean, I could not thank Bring Me Horizon enough for taking us on that tour. It was unbelievable for us. Like, the bill was great, venues were great, and people just, luckily people liked our music, and I think it's been going well since.
Definitely. And your next album, Disease, coming out September 28th.
Yes, it is.
Will be your third album.
Yeah.
And you released about 2 singles right before Free, I guess.
We just put another one out a couple days ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And but the singles are always posted first on Reddit.
Yeah.
What?
Well, the first one that came out, so we were playing Warped Tour.
Yeah.
And we'd just been sitting on the songs for so long, and we're like, there's got to be some way that somebody can hear something. And I don't know, the song magically just appeared on Reddit. Okay. and people liked it. It was fun to play that, but it was just, I think it was cool to like put out just a little more of like a deep cut off the record before we started releasing the singles. Yeah. And just like kind of more for like the deeper Beartooth fans. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the singles seem to be going really well. We just started playing them for the first time ever on this tour.
And everyone knows the lyrics.
Yeah, they know them pretty well.
Yeah.
Today, this is going to be our first, like, I think this is our first headline show. Yeah, this is going to be our first headline show that we've played these songs. Yeah. And so I'm really excited to see if people know them or if people hate them. We'll find out, but hopefully not.
Okay, and are you a Reddit user, a heavy Reddit user? Or?
No, I've never used it.
So it was no plan to release the singles on Reddit?
No,
before.
I mean, I know nothing about Reddit.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay, good. The new album, Disease. We listened to it, and my feeling is it's something like the most versatile album.
Cool.
From Beartooth. So it's still the classic raw Beartooth sound with fury and everything in it, but there are also some moments which are pretty new to me, like the pop punk moments or something like radio rock sound, but not always.
We tried to do a bunch of different things. Yeah. Like honestly, the reason I think it's so, the sound is so varied is because there were just so many songs to choose from. Yeah. And, there would be like maybe a month or two I was just really into heavy metal, and I was just writing heavy metal. And then there was like I was listening to a lot of rock songs or like AC/DC or old classic rock, and there was more shit like that. Then there was, you know, kind of at the end, like the song specifically "Believe." I mean, I'll talk about this one, like, because it's for sure the most obscure song on the record. But we basically just had a shit ton of songs, felt like we were ready to go, and the label was like, let's get some more. I was like, all right, let's fucking keep going. And my buddy Drew came out to my house, and we just wrote in my basement. And I don't know, we were just like, fuck it. Let's just throw a Hail Mary. Let's just go for it and just try and write the most like sing-along-able song you can.
Yeah.
And it's different, but like when you think about it, we've had shit like that, like In Between and, you know, Sick of Me and things like that. And that's also, to me, a very important thing about Beartooth is to have the option to do whatever I want to do musically. You know, there's not really a specific genre it's in. I don't really know what it is. It's just kind of like what it sounds like is how I was feeling that day. But I've always made sure, you know, for myself that whenever I write a song to just not think about genres and just focus on if I enjoy it and if I think people will enjoy it. And the record turned out like a lot of different shit. And then right after that is like some fucking, I think Infection is like the next song on the record. So there's a lot of options, you know, a lot of different vibes on there.
Definitely. And you mentioned Believe, and I listened to it, and my first thinking was, what? It sounds so different. And
I've had people ask that my friends I've shown, they're like, who is this?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, no, this is us. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So I don't want to spoil anyone with the sound, but it was kind of poppy.
It is. So, it absolutely is.
But
like,
there are also,
no shame.
also very, very heavy and dark songs on an album, like the first one of the album starting. So I think it's pretty varied.
I wanted, you know, for listeners, like, to me, I know a lot of people just listen to singles, but like to me, it's still really important, the full album, you know, front to back in order. And it just felt like there was just so much heavy. Like, we're like, fuck it, let's just throw like a really fun, just like quick sing along, and then we'll get back into it. But yeah, I don't know, we're just throwing in a bunch of different shit, and I think it's a fun record to listen to front to back, you know.
You wrote the whole album by yourself, together with executive
writers.
Producer Nick Raskulinich.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Touren. How is it your writing process, or how can we think about this? Sitting you in your room, what kind of food do you eat? Will you eat then, or where do you get the creativity from, or the influences?
I really don't know. I've always loved making music, and I've always had songs playing in my head or whatever. And I mean, it's honestly just like any kid writes a song, you know. I just sit in my room and I have some instruments and my, you know, recording gear, and I don't know, I just kind of start going. And you know, when I was really young, I learned to play, you know, all of like the rock instruments, but I never had a chance to make something just by myself playing everything. So Beartooth was like my first chance to do that. And I've always wanted to make sure it kind of stays that way. And it's nothing against the other dudes. Like, they're fucking incredible musicians. It's just like, that's kind of the sound, you know? And I just feel like to keep it fluid. Also, it's like, I only get to sing on stage. It's like the one time I get to actually play and rock out. And so everybody understands that. But I really don't know if I have a specific process. Every song is different. Sometimes it's vocals first. Sometimes it's guitars, drums, bass, who knows? It just kind of keep working until it's done, you know?
Okay, so would you say that there changed something between the Sick EP and the last album in your writing, or for sure you learn more over the time, but is there something like, is there another mindset for doing it?
Specifically on Disease, I think the biggest change was going to like a really proper studio, not a basement studio. And, you know, everything is live instruments. Like the drums, I think there's one song that I like blew out the rack tom, so I had to resample the rack tom. But other than that, it's all all the hits that I played. There's no drum resampling. There's no, there might be a couple like digital guitar things I did, but it was all, other than that, just a bunch of live amps. And to me, that just made it feel more like, a kid just writing a song and just bashing it out. And like, that's what I wanted it to feel like, is I wanted to remind myself why I started playing all the instruments in the first place. Yeah. And it was just because I loved writing songs and playing it all out. And I think that's probably the biggest change from the Sick EP.
Yeah, to the new album. Yeah. We talked about Believe, I would say one of the popular songs from the album. We talked in our team about some days ago. Our local radio station did a question in their late night show. They asked if rock music is dead. So you also wrote a song, "Rock is Dead."
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Is rock music dead? Because their answer is that they took, for example, lineups from the big German festivals, and for example, Rock am Ring. You played there sometime.
Absolutely.
Changed the amount of rock bands playing there changed from about 85% to 40%. So
wow, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And so their conclusion was to say, okay, rock is dead, or rock is not dead, because they don't really make it really answer. But my question to you, what do you think about it? Is rock music dead or not? What's the state of rock music today?
The state of rock music. I mean, I would love to say rock and roll is thriving and alive and well as ever. But I think the reality is it's definitely changing. I mean, the world has just become so much more digital and computers, and the sound of rock and roll came from fucking like 40s and 50s and shit like that. So now, it's all about beats and it's about electronic music, and all that shit's great and it's really fun. But I do love rock. It's been my favorite music always, and it always will be. But it's definitely taken a hit. Like, you can just look at statistics. Like, it's definitely, shows are smaller, record sales are smaller. Yeah. But I think it's more so there are just certain bands that are able to withstand that wave. Like, the Foo Fighters are still playing fucking stadiums. And, I don't think that's ever going to change, And I just hope that it has a resurgence. And, we're trying to do our part. We're trying to be a little bit of help if we can,
Yeah, because they mentioned that there's also, aside from the promoters from Rock am Ring, who said that the talents are missing, and there's less bands coming from the smaller venues, which can...
It's so much harder for a smaller rock band to get big these days.
Yeah.
And, it feels like it's hard to make a fresh sound, at least. Like, a lot of the stuff I hear when I'm listening to like local band CDs that I'm given, or just looking for new bands, that all just like, not all of it, but there's a good portion of it that I'm like, oh, that sounds like that band, or that sounds like that band. It's the thing that I think bands really need to like really make it and break through is like, oh, that sounds like their band, instead of, and obviously you're going to have influences and things, but having a unique sound, I think, is something that like people need to discover a little more. And I don't know. I don't know what that sound is, but hopefully somebody does it and rock and roll just comes back fucking swinging,
And I think Beartooth got this their own sound, because I think their own sound started right in the EP. Because
I guess.
And if we combine if we try to sum up the whole interview and the album, I think there is something like you definitely worked out the Beartooth sound.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the Beartooth sound, I guess, is like, to me, it's just a culmination of everything I love, which is I love pop choruses, I love heavy metal, I love classic rock, I love hardcore, I love punk, I love 80s delay lead guitar tones like the Cult and shit like that. And I don't know, I guess that's what it is. It's just kind of like whatever comes out. But I I don't know. I really don't know what we sound like. It's just a bunch of different crazy random shit.
Okay.
I guess it works.
I would say if I listen to a Beartooth song, I would recognize it's the very first.
Hey, as long as we were doing that, I guess we're doing something right. So,
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Definitely.
Killer, man. Thank you.
My last question: after these single shows in here, with the festivals, everything, what comes next? Will there be a big headlining tour?
We got something planned. That is.
You don't want to tell us.
I can't. I would get in really fucking big trouble if I did.
The shows are sold out. So.
But no, we will be coming back at some point. I can't give dates or with who or whatever, but it's gonna be really fucking huge.
Will it be a headlining tour or will you support?
That I can't say either.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna have to wait and find out. But it's gonna be probably my favorite tour I've ever done in my life.
Okay.
I would say one of them. This will probably be the coolest tour we've ever done in our lives. Yeah.
That sounds pretty nice.
It's gonna be fucking fun.
Okay. Das ist ein schöner Abschluss. Also wir warten auf die News, wann die neue Beartooth-Tour kommt. Auf MoreCore.de werdet ihr die Infos finden. Wir bedanken uns bei Caleb. Caleb, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, man.
Have a nice show. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Und ja, denkt dran, abonnieren, liken, Glocke anklicken. Bis dann. Ciao, ciao.
Killer.
Caleb, thank you very much.
Thank you.